Hi, my name is Jeff Cheeseman. I work with Youth Sports Live, and we're going to do a quick example of how to mount one of our cameras onto a piece of chain link fence. Remember, for baseball, you're going to mount the camera behind home plate so that it looks out, sees home plate, maybe the catcher's feet, to first base on this side, a little bit outside, so we always catch her first, a little bit outside third base. Wherever it goes high is where it goes. The camera will come prepared with its cover on. Standard dome camera. The camera slides off. You can release these. Please be very careful with the domes, as that's what we'll see through. The camera itself will come with 4 J-hooks coming out the back. Those J-hooks will attach to the fence. Let me show you how. I have a piece of chain link fence here just as a demonstration, and we fully understand that when you're at the field you'll be on one side or the other, not be able to reach over like this for almost all fields. Let me prop this up so it doesn't fall over on me. The camera hole where the wires come out and the hole in the bottom, exactly at hole in the bottom. The cameras rotate back and forth, turn, spool. You'll loosen these security nuts to be able to refocus the camera. When you're done, please make sure that they are in fact screwed down tight, keeps the focus in play. You'll notice that there are 4, the J-bolts come into 4 nuts here. You'll be spinning them down to tighten it up onto the fence. For the moment, I'm going to loosen it back. I'm going to move the fence so you can see a little bit more clearly. I'm going to take the camera, and though I'm holding the fence up here, I apologize. I'm going to push the wires through the fence, like such. Give you a side view. And then I'm going to find the backward wires, not the front wires. That gives the J-hook a little bit more room to pull in and still be tight. So I'm going to find the 4 back wires closest to a hole where I can mount. I will be able to screw it on. And then I'll set this up so I can stay on one side, just like you'll be in the field. I just use my fingers to pull it in tight. And this sometimes gets slightly tricky. Just spin the nuts down in order to tighten it up. Now I can pull it in pretty tightly here, so I can get it pretty tight just with my fingers for the moment. When you're done, I would suggest using something like a needle nose pair of pliers to give it that little bit of extra tightness, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Let me get this all on. Again, I'm staying on one side here. Do all 4 of them. That one's always the easiest because I can see it the easiest. Bend down and tighten that up. Okay, that's going to be my initial mount. Like I said, we use a pair of needle nose pliers to tighten these even more. But as you can see, again, I'll use the fact that this is a portable fence. Holes. This comes through a link so that we have access to it, and these are pulled down tight. And I generally let them slide down so that they're not going anywhere anyway. If the ball gets hit, if the ball hits the camera, I should say, the fence will give it a little bit slack, but we like to try and mount it right next to a fence post. That will give it the stability that we look for. It's a nice steady picture. Once you have the camera through and you've got a piece of Cat 5 coming out the other way, we're going to take the conduit box here. If you have Teflon tape, I would suggest wrapping this in Teflon tape. I'm going to push the wires through. Push the video connector to the BNC through first, as it just fits. Then we put the power connector. we pull it all the way through. At this point, I'm going to screw it onto the back of the box. In this case, I had to bend the chain link slightly to be able to do this. And it just screws on, leaving the cable loose so the cable doesn't get tangled. And for demonstration purposes, I won't make it too tight, but should be waterproof. When we're done, we're going to ask you to use a little sealant to seal these up. Again, once we're here. Okay, now that we have the wire in the back, you have a power connector and the video BNC connector. We're going to take the microphone and plug in the power. We're going to bridge the power through this microphone. We take the BNC, we get power to both get power at the same time, and we hook up the audio. At this point, I'm going to look for, and I've just got a small piece here, but your Cat 5. And bring your Cat 5 through here. Now in the field you'll have a cap that the Cat 5 will slide through before you terminate it. After you've terminated it, once we pack it all down, the cap will be inserted into the bottom to close it up. But for now we have our connection. What we haven't hooked up is the video. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to push the video back through and rest it. I do that so that I can go back on the far side with a DVD player or some other screen which can see the camera, or if I have a buddy back in the house where we're going to mount the encoder so they can see what the camera sees and we can point it correctly. If I have a video player, back again, walk around the backstop, I will point, focus the camera however it gets pointed to give us the best picture. Please check the focus and secure the lens with the small screw down nuts. Once that is done, I'm going to turn the camera a little bit, hang on here. I'm going to connect the video. This now completes the circuit back so that I actually have video back at the house. I'm going to spin it so that the Cat 5 is out front. That'll allow it to sit nice and snug on the bottom there. And then I'm just going to pack it in, except for the microphone. Microphone is yet to be dealt with. Actually, I guess before you pack it all the way in, we're going to take the microphone and push it back up onto the camera side. Put it out there. And that's the last piece back here. We'll just pack up the rest of the wiring as such so that it all fits in nicely. And I've actually put it into this box many times so I know it fits nicely. There you have it fitting. At that point I have the rear plate, which I will put on and attach the two screws. That completes the back. I'm not going to bother screwing that in right now. I'm going to spin it around again. Once I have the front focused, the black piece of polyfoam on the bottom, oops, sorry, not in the middle. Black piece of polyfoam on the bottom. I'm going to insert the microphone into the polyfoam. There's a slit in the polyfoam to take it. There we go. Yep, can't quite get it, so I'm going to pull the polyfoam out. There's the hole. And put the polyfoam back in, make sure that it's about flush with the bottom. You'll notice this is here. This is the heater. It has been disconnected at the warehouse. We want it to stay disconnected, please. Don't need the heater. At that point, I'm going to get the dome back. I kick the two legs out. It has a button on each. I have tracks in here. At the bottom of the tracks, there's an opening which will accept the button. The case closes in, and I use the wrench we shipped with it to tighten this down so that the case is now waterproof. And that's a completion of an installation. You'll probably do 2 behind the backstop. You might do 1 looking out at first base, 1 looking out at third base, but I'll add additional videos to explain those. This is really just a home place mounting. I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to call Kevin Smith or Jeff Cheeseman at Youth Sports Live to discuss this. Thank you.